All right, hello. Today we are going to be talking about the Manhattan Project, and we're also going to be talking about slogans and symbols and the propaganda of World War II. So we've been learning a lot about World War II. We've been on it for a few weeks now. So hopefully you're starting to really build up all these facts that you've learned, okay? And it's all starting to piece together, okay? But specifically today, we're going to talk about the Manhattan Project. So there's a few things that you need to know about the Manhattan Project. First of all, what was it? Okay, so the Manhattan Project, let's make this a little bit bigger, was a secret. Okay, it's a secret, and that's a big deal. Okay, because at the time, they did not want this secret getting out, okay? They needed to win the war, so they needed their secret to be kept safe, okay? But their secret was that they were building nuclear weapons, okay? They were building nuclear weapons, specifically the atomic bomb, okay, which would be a big part of World War II, okay? And now they had to not only have a secret project, but they needed to keep this project in a safe place, okay? And one of those places was Oak Ridge, Tennessee, okay? And Oak Ridge, Tennessee was a fake city, okay? It was built for keeping the Manhattan Project a secret, okay, and parts of it a secret. And so most of the people that lived there had no idea that it was a fake city. They had no idea that the Manhattan Project was taking place in their city, okay? The only people that knew about it were the people that worked there, all right? So there was also the secret city of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Okay, and that was the secret city. Okay, so people were asked to move there, but they had no idea that it was because they were making a fake city. And one of the reasons for that is because Tennessee has a lot of rural area. So that word is rural. And what that means is we don't have lots of big cities in Tennessee. We do have Nashville and Memphis and a few big ones. But a lot of Tennessee is rural. So we think of maybe a lot of farmland, a lot of open space. Okay, so that was one of the reasons that Oak Ridge, Tennessee was chosen. Another reason is that it was landlocked. Okay, it was landlocked. That means it was surrounded by land on all sides. Okay, there's no water or oceans surrounding it. So it would be harder for people that were trying to harm the United States to get to them or to defeat the project. Okay? And so last but not least, what did this do? What did the Manhattan Project do? Well, we talked about the atomic bomb. They finally made a breakthrough and figured out how to make this atomic bomb, which they ended up dropping in Japan, on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Those were the two cities. Okay? And that helped end the war. That was one of the final things that helped end the war. So it helped end World War II. Okay? So the Manhattan Project is a big deal, guys. It's a big deal to know about, to know what was happening, to know that it was kept a secret even from the people that were living inside the city. Okay, and then ultimately those bombs were dropped on Japan, and it helped World War II come to an end. All right, and then the last thing I wanted to take a look at was symbols and slogans, okay? So symbols and slogans, they were a big, big deal in World War II. And the reason that they were such a big deal is because it was a source of propaganda, and I'm going to write that word down, okay, because that will be on your test. So it was propaganda. Propaganda. And this is a big deal because propaganda is what really united people in a thought. Okay, so for example, the United States really wanted to get people all to come together and send the troops food. Okay, they knew that the people that were fighting would need food. Okay, and so they said, come, let's join together and get these soldiers food, okay? And they had lots of posters that made you think that. They would talk about it on the radio, okay? They would develop symbols and slogans, which we'll talk about in a second, okay? There was propaganda all over the place. And so when we think of propaganda, you can also think of media, okay? So when we think of media, we probably think of TV, we probably think of things you hear on the radio, things you see, maybe a billboard or a poster that's hanging up, okay? And a lot of the times when we see it, it's trying to get us to buy something or go somewhere, do something. It was very similar then, okay? It just looked a little bit different. Now our excuse me, our media is social media, and they obviously didn't have social media, but they would pin up these posters, okay, and talk about it a lot. So some examples of slogans that were created, and a slogan is a short phrase that really sticks in your head that you can remember. An example of that is keep calm and carry on. I bet you that you've heard of that one before. Keep calm and carry on. And I bet you didn't know that that was created in World War II. It was created in Great Britain as a way to unite people, okay, so bring people together and say, we just got to keep calm and keep on doing what we're doing, and it's going to be okay. All right. There were other ones as well. So another example is your courage, your cheerfulness, your resolution will bring us victory. Okay? Again, bringing everyone together in the thought that if you stay positive, we're going to win the war. Okay? There were also other ones like loose lips sink ships. Okay? If you start talking about what's going on, maybe the bad guys will hear it, and that will cause our ships to sink, okay? That's going to cause us to lose the war if you start talking about the things that we're doing together in the United States. Okay, so those were some slogans that were created. There was also some symbols, okay? For example, she became a symbol, okay? This is not necessarily a real person, but her name is now called Rosie the Riveter, okay? And what she represents, her symbol, means that in this time of war, everyone had to come together. And until this point, women didn't normally go to work. They stayed at home, they took care of the children, they made food, they took care of the home. And now women, because the men were off at war, were starting to go to work and do really tough manual labor. They were working in factories, making weapons and different things that were needed for the war. And so this is a picture of Rosie the Riveter, and she is being strong and saying, together we can do this. So we can do it. And here's another picture of her. Okay, she's rolling up her sleeves and getting to work. Okay, and there were lots of symbols like that came during World War II. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about symbols and slogans later, but I just want you to know what propaganda is, how it was used, okay? And then I also wanted to let you know that we will be talking about symbols and slogans later because you will be creating your own. Okay, so that is all for now. Make sure to go and take your test, and you guys are going to do a great job. Remember, you can take it twice, and your highest score counts.